The stars are bright, we own the night. The stars are bright, we own. The stars are bright, we own the night. The stars are bright, we own. The stars. The stars.
Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of No Better Time Than the Present. Tonight we have a special guest. This is like my first product related guest. Her name is Pamela Chance, and she is the founder of GymBuu. So there are a few call outs to make in terms of Pamela's company. The first, which is what I love, is her hygienic bag system. So many of my viewers, as we already know, have some form of chronic conditions. So this is like a perfect product for those who include exercise in their day-to-day and how to be safe in terms of adding fitness with treatment, with medication, with whatever you have going on. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that, because I know this is going to be an awesome conversation. And just so everyone knows, I gave a bio to Pamela's extensive career. That's already, just a part of it is in the last post that we did not that long ago. So we needed to shorten it a bit, so forgive us, Pamela. But Pamela's career is quite impressive, and it makes sense why it led her to form this innovative bag, and along with other products that she has. Okay, so before I bring Pamela on to this conversation, I wanted to do a pre-chat. Okay, so I know a lot of thrivers are saying, like, what's the hoopla about hygiene and accessories? Okay, so as many of you know, I have my company, Chronic Fitness. So I work with a lot of people who have some form of chronic conditions, such as myself, who want to work out. But it always throws me a little when people split the hygienic part as well as the fitness part, if that makes any sense. So it's very important that even if you include exercise in your day-to-day, it's very important that you make sure your surroundings is safe and clean, because all we need is like an additional infection on top of an immune system that is challenging. I liked about Pamela's setup, and again, she'll be on shortly, is her very detailed breakdown in terms of, I believe she gives something on her blog about people who have diabetes, just like certain chronic conditions that we're all aware of, may not necessarily be cancer related, but a chronic condition is a chronic condition. Okay, so I really enjoyed reading like the full detail of tips that she provided in terms of just being aware and acknowledging how important it is that we keep in mind that the whole clean scenario, when we want to bring in exercise, and it doesn't matter what form of exercise that you want to bring in, that you have something that is going to help keep you safe. Okay, so that's very important.
You have joined, and there we are.
There we go. We're going, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? All right.
Happy day. It's wonderful to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Thank you. It's wonderful to meet you. And I like your product. I can't even recall how we came about your information. We're very inquisitive on this end of finding people. But I have a fitness business, and what you're doing kind of relates to that. However, the tricky part in there is this is really a cool product for people who have chronic conditions. Now,
Like
it
me.
does, yes, I know some of your story. So it's not to say that the regular day-to-day people, even though we are regular day-to-day, but you know what I mean. This is like for anybody, but I think from what I see, I mean, it sounds great as targeting those such as us. So that's kind of what moved me to say, okay, well, let me see if we can do this interview here on this page instead of my other page or what have you. So how did you come up with this concept? And can you tell us what is GymBuu? And I hope I'm
Okay.
saying it right.
You are. It's GymBuu. GymBuu
Okay.
is your fitness bestie. So GymBuu, fitness bestie, right? So and I'm glad it's myeloma chick because it's deeper than just me. So I was diagnosed. Well, it took 5 years to be diagnosed with my autoimmune condition. They, of course, wanted it to be lupus because I'm African American. I was the age, so they kept saying it was that, but the blood test never would say that it was that.
Right.
So they kept giving me steroids for 5 years while they were trying to figure it out horribly. During those 5 years, I gained 40 pounds. I was always a gym girl. I was always a thin girl, but during this 5 years of poor medical assistance, I gained 40 pounds from being on steroids, just trying to get the pain in check. Some mornings I woke up, my shoulder didn't work. Some days I'd be sitting at my desk and I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom, but I was too embarrassed to show what was wrong with me because I couldn't even tell them if they asked, or I tried to pick up a cup and my wrist didn't work. So I moved from DC to Atlanta, and the night I closed on my house, back to Atlanta, home sweet home. And the night I closed on my house, me and my daughter were just having dinner, and just chronic pain. I couldn't even move my arm. I couldn't even drive the rental car to the emergency room. So I went to one hospital and got mistreatment because when you're African American, show up in the emergency room with pain, they want to think you want drugs. I have never done a drug in my life. I do not drink. I've never been drunk in my life, but that's how they treat you. So I said, I tell you what, you better not send me a bill. I'm leaving. It's another hospital across the street, and that's where I'm going. So I went across the street to another hospital, and she saw me and she touched me and she said, I really think you have rheumatoid arthritis. She said, I'm going to send you to this doctor to confirm, but I really think that's what it is. And I went to the doctor the next day. Sure enough, it was rheumatoid arthritis. And so, but for those 5 years, they kept just saying you have autoimmune, you have autoimmune. So I'm in the gym trying to get my body back, but I knew I had some autoimmune condition. They didn't know which one. So when you know that you can get sick from everything, you look at the gym differently. So I'm a yoga girl, right? So I'm on the floor doing yoga and I just see hair, dirt, sweat, anything gross. It's magnified to you if you have an autoimmune condition. When you go to sit on a bench, you see the sweat print that the person left behind on the seat, on the back. You
That
go
is,
to touch a handle, girl, right? You go to touch a handle, you see the sweat, just like everything grosses you out. You go in the shower and you're like, I'd rather stay with my own dirt than claim y'all dirt in the shower, right? So the very first thing that I invented, because, you know, I don't want to sit on anybody else, was the two-sided towel. So this is the GymBuu two-sided towel, and it's extra thick. and it's two colors. So I always know that this gray side touches the gym surfaces and this colorful side touches me. So if I'm sweaty, I don't mind touching my own body with my own clean self. But I don't want this part to ever touch my skin or my face or any kind of open anything, right? And so it just makes life a lot easier to put it on something on the bench. Also, the dirtiest thing in the gym, surprisingly, is the handles on the treadmill. People don't know that. So I just lay it over the treadmill handle, just whatever that my hand would touch in the gym, this gray side touches. So it goes from circuit machine to circuit machine. If I'm doing some kind of push-up, I can use that. But I also invented this towel, which is super long, and it's got a pocket right here that goes over the back, the headrest, so that I don't get people sweat on my back or on my bottom. And it goes on the bench, and it also goes on like if you're doing flies or anything like that, arm or leg lifts or anything. So there's this one, and it has a zippered pocket, so you can keep your keys and your ID and your phone also off the nasty floors. Because what good is if you put your phone on the floor and you're still gonna put the germs on your face, which is worse, right?
Exactly.
So I started with the towel. So that was the motivating factor, is that gyms were gross. I couldn't afford to get any sicker than I was. I didn't know what I had or what the condition, what would happen next. But I did know I needed to stay healthy and clean. So those were the first two. And then as life went on, I created more just based on my needs at the gym. And I have the whole thing here. I'll show you later when you're ready.
Okay. I love it. I mean, sometimes we think of what is needed. There's like a need for what I'm going through and how I can cope and manage and do what I gotta do. But sometimes there's like no products. So you think, and I mean, you were smart to think of this very innovative idea, because I think a lot of people are grossed out, such as I claim that as well. Okay. And whether I get the looks or not, because I'll bring all the New York charm that I have to look you dead back as I'm taking all of their whites to clean up whatever they got going on.
And you know what the problem is with the wipes? Sometimes the moisture, it doesn't dry fast enough for me to get on the machine. And you sit down in those chemicals and you cause yourself another problem.
True, but for me,
but it's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing. And I noticed that as well, because I'm like, ugh, it's taking too long, and I'll just go to the bathroom and get some paper towel. I know a lot of people are not going to do like that extra thing that is needed. Okay. So this is interesting. So by developing these products, because I know you have a bag, we're going to get into that in a bit as well. What would you say, as in developing this idea? Did you see anything similar to this, or what was like the highlight as to you actually getting this off the ground? Like,
I have a career in marketing my whole life, and I am a brand strategist, and I've gotten 2 products in through Walmart before. So I am always, if I see anything, I'm always thinking, man, what's the solution to that? That's just how my mind works. What can we do to make that better? How can we fix that? So I'm always inventing something. And this is probably like my 6th brand. So as life shows up and there's a need for something, I tend to try to create it. And I used to do it for other people, then I did it in my business, and now I do it for myself. So that's just how my mind works. So the biggest challenge was learning how to source things from China, how to create prototypes, trying to get sizing and coloring right, how to get shipping right, how to get QA/QC right with someone that doesn't necessarily speak the same kind of English you speak, working through customs and all that stuff, working through 3PLs or warehouses, where to put all the stuff, how many colors to get. I mean, there's a lot of things. You think you want to do something, and then when you get into how much it costs to do something, you like, let me find somebody else that already did it.
Because I'm shaking my head like I know because I come from that. That's my world. That's my former world. So I have like a 20-year plus professional relationship in the fashion industry. So I know all product development, production, and technical. You know, you mentioned some good call outs of the sizing, the colors, working with different countries, you know, to get your product made. That's a whole other conversation. If it was affordable here, then maybe a lot of people would be going to other countries to try to figure this out. But it is what it is.
It's what it is. And it doesn't matter how big you are. The biggest companies still go over there to get their stuff. I mean, so you expect little old me not to? Come on now.
Thank you now. Come on now. Okay. Right. It's common sense at somewhere down this conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get it. I found a lot of things personally when it comes to this community. There's just some things that's missing. And I don't know, maybe like the world, life is like so huge. And some things you're just not going to know about. But, you know, am I going through treatment, which I'm no longer in treatment? It was just some things like, man, I wish I could find X, Y, and Z. Or man, I wish I could find blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, am I the only one thinking this? Because I know my mind goes a little different than other people. Okay.
I'm going to tell you something, and that's a good point, because when I created the brand, it's really cute and really fashion forward, right? You're in the fashion industry. I never ever had to tell the story about my autoimmune condition or my mother's, but it's part of my story. And the way you found me was because of one of those blogs, or you search products for autoimmune disease, and those words are in my blog. So it's because I tell the story that you found me. And I think if more people told the story, you'd have a better time or easier time finding them. So I'm glad that you did find me, but it's only because I told my story, because it just could have been a good travel work gym bag and you never would have found me.
Right. I think it probably was from my part, because it was somebody else who was helping me along with this. But I think it probably was, okay, let's search that whole SEO, do the whole SEO, and let's do chronic condition and products or something. Maybe something like that. I don't even remember. But this is great that you're in this particular market that is needed. Okay, so do you find yourself dealing more with people with chronic conditions, or is, because this is for anybody, to be
It's
honest?
for anybody, and they don't tell me why they buy it. Like, I just see an order and I don't know why it came in or why people ordered it, but hopefully because I tell the story, they can see it. Like, I have one of my product bundles is called GymBuu. And that's really for those who are really concerned about hygiene. It includes both of the towels that I mentioned, but I also have a rinse-free body wash. So you don't even have to go in that nasty bathroom if you don't want to. It doesn't require water, and you can wash whatever part of your body needs washed. Because a lot of us go to work or go right after work. And so you just use this in a paper towel or one of your other towels, and you're just clean. So it's kind of like what seniors use, but you just, and it eliminates all the odors. It's Purine safe, so you can use it in your private areas, under your arms, whatever, and it'll clean your body without water. And you don't need anything. You don't have to go in that shower bathroom if you're concerned, because some people are shower scared, and some people, we have to work out to prolong our lives. So not being able to shower after going to the gym and going to work won't be a concern, because I did this, because I work out before I go to the gym. I get up at 4 or 5 every morning. So I work out in the morning, and you have to handle what you have to handle, but you don't have to. If you forgot your shower shoes, you don't have time, you know, whatever the situation is, you have to be someplace else. That's always a nice thing to have in your bag as well.
Like, options is a good thing. I think when I set everything up before Instagram was playing games, I okay, I think a lot of people, let's be honest, we're all so very different, and that's a good thing to some degree. So I feel like when you have a chronic whatever and you have to be on meds or some type of treatment or whatever you have going on, I think a lot of people automatically feel they can't do certain things, especially when it's to prolong their life. Now, as you mentioned, exercise, like some type of fitness, has to be somewhere in this conversation. And I know for my base, that's something that I kind of spew out there. And you'll have some people, it may go over their head, or, and I get it. Everyone has different things going on, especially with the fatigue. So fatigue is usually like a big call out for many in the multiple myeloma, specifically community. However, it does help to put in some kind of whatever. Now, with that said, if you are on that journey of fitness, hygiene situation got to be looked as well, especially if you're using like a public outlet to, you
Yeah,
know,
you're going to the gym for sure.
you know. So sometimes I feel like some of the conversation gets choppy in terms of, okay, well, this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still some other things you need to be doing as you're doing it. Like, okay, let me just not flop down, just as we mentioned, you know, someone who has the sweat stains on the chairs, and
Mm-hmm.
right there's a red flag.
I'll tell
Okay.
you another thing, because you know my mother had multiple myeloma. You know that.
Yes, yes. And I would like to hear a little bit about that
Well,
situation.
she was the best human being that ever walked the face of the earth, and I miss her every day.
Oh,
But
that's
so
beautiful.
believe me when I tell you I understand myeloma, and she also had rheumatoid arthritis, which is what I have. So understanding both very well. But what, like, if you have to work out at home, it's always good to stretch. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you're at home, it's still a concern. So this is our yoga mat. And what I like about it is, you know, there's pain associated with both of those conditions. It's a double thick mat.
Right.
And traditionally in our communities, we don't take our shoes off. Some people do that are from other countries. Most people don't, and most people's kids don't, or their husband don't, even if everybody else does. Somebody in the house just doesn't. So even with that, at a home is not as bad as the gym, but we still need to be careful. So wherever you are, even if you're outside, I use this mat because it folds up square, fits right in the gym bag. So
Mm-hmm.
see, like that. It's also just like the towel, two colors. So it's gray. So you know that's the side that touches the floor, and this is the side that touches you. And because it folds in on itself, you're not rolling up, because traditional mats roll up like this. So say this is dirty. You roll all that dirt right back on the mat. And then
Mm-hmm.
some. I don't care how good you cleaned it. If you're going to roll the dirt back on it, you did not solve the problem. So this
Exactly.
solves the problem.
I love it.
You
I love
got to understand the problem to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's like it's very wide
Yes.
to cover the body if you're not
Mm-hmm.
trying to be, you know, with all the cooties that's on the floor.
Yeah. I said keep the cooties from your booty, right?
Exactly. Understand, because it's crazy. Now that you said that part, because I have a couple of the traditional rolling mats or whatever, and I'm diligent with, okay, I got to do this exercise where I have to be on this floor. Now, it's one thing when I'm home, then, you know, it's like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I like I said, everyone's different. I can be a little extra. So I'm like, okay, get these whites. I'm doing the front and the back. And you'd be surprised the amount of dirt that comes off, even on both sides. It's just kind of like, well, I cleaned this from the last time that I used it. Like, well, what's happening? So the whole hygienic aspect of this conversation is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people, again, we're all going to be different. Some people are going to take it lightly, and some people are going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I was wondering, or sometimes it can stall them from doing what they need to be doing. Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if I go to the gym, or if I, do anything fitness related, how does this work? Because I don't want to get some type of infection or what have you. So it's a weird thing. Um, so okay, I think I kind of mentioned this. Like, how costly can the lack of physical activity be on those with chronic conditions? And how can the GymBuu lessen that excuse? And I think we kind of spoke about that, but just
Yeah, I mean, what's the cost of health? Your health is your wealth. So, do you really want to compromise your health just because you touched something gross in the gym? I
mm,
mean, it's the cost of refilling the I mean, you have to get some medication. That goes without saying. But if you exacerbate your condition, then that cost could go up. So, I don't know the actual cost. Depends on your condition and the outcomes. I mean, because we're exposing ourselves not only, I mean, we're exposing ourselves to any disease, any communicable disease. We're going to get the brunt of it if you're autoimmune compromised. It really doesn't matter what it is. So the cost is your health and also your peace of mind, because this is the thing. If I feel like the gym is gross, I'm not going to go to the gym. If I don't go
right.
to the gym, I'm going to get sicker. If I get sicker, that's going to boost my healthcare costs and reduce my quality of life.
Mm.
It's a chain reaction.
It
And it
is.
all starts with how you feel in your mindset about that, but also physically what the impact of it is. So
If you have like the negative thought of beating or coping or managing whatever you have going on, like you have to put in the work. Sometimes it works better than not putting in the work, if that makes any sense. So
well,
putting in
even
the
if you're not losing weight, you're releasing endorphins and dopamines, which is making you feel better. You're
is
increasing your mobility, which helps you move better. So when my mother was, I'm 59 years old. When my mother was 59 years old, she was handicapped with rheumatoid arthritis. Her fingers were bent. She couldn't lift her arm past here. She couldn't lift her arm past here. And um, her whole body was compromised. So I work out. Because I know what that looked like at 59 on her. It doesn't look like that on me. I am not in any way, but I was when I first got it. I couldn't lift my arm past 10 degrees.
mm,
And so I had to do everything in my power. I went to a doctor who gave me dry needling and reduced those tendons. And then I never had, I mean, I do shoulder exercises now, but it worked. But
mm,
you have to do it because I know what not doing it looks like. I do.
mm. You do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to put in the work. Like this whole thing of life, managing yourself, it's not, oh, the young people when you're younger, you could do, no. This is throughout your whole life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like there's especially with Instagram or social media, you have people like in their 70s and 80s working out hard, bodies looking better than a 20-year-old. So this is a constant getting it
It's a
together.
lifestyle. Yeah.
It is. It really is. And that includes diet as well. But that's
Mm-hmm.
like, so, okay, tell me more about the bag. So you
Okay.
showed me these
Yep.
other
So this is
three.
GymBuu bag. GymBuu comes in 8 colors. So this is lavender. Chose lavender today in honor of our lupus friends. So GymBuu has 9 separate pockets. It's got a lock right there for travel. A lot of people use this as their travel bag. really, if you're on one of those discount airlines or now Southwest and don't want to pay those baggage fees, I usually just take this if I'm just going for the weekend. I don't have to take anything else. But when you open it up, it has this plastic pocket for a lot of people do when they have joint conditions. They are or any kind of weaknesses. They do swimming. So this plastic bag right here is for your swimsuit. So you can zip your swimsuit or anything wet in here, and you don't have to worry about it impacting everything else in the bag. It's got a mesh thing right here for just damp or moist clothes. You know, I just unhooked the yoga mat from here, but it straps down in here if you want to use it in this pocket, but you can use it in the back pocket too, like that. Isn't that cute?
That's good. Yeah, that's like for a weekend situation.
Yeah.
Like,
If you
then you have your gym system with you.
with you. And then we have our GymBuu yoga cubes too, because sometimes you don't have the range of motion you once had. You need a little assistance. People are always like, what are yoga cubes for? They're so you can reach the floor. So you can hold it like this if you need 6 inches, right? You can hold it like this if you need less, you know, or you can hold it like this. So you can do, so there's 3 different heights you can use your yoga block. And that's what it's for. It's to help you get into position even if you can't touch the floor. So that's what they're for. A lot of people are like, well, what do I need a block for? So the GymBuu bag comes with this big side pocket right here, which I usually keep all of my cords in. I always have a lot of cords because everybody always telling me to make content. This part up here I keep as my purse in the front, and then this back pocket back here. Every single GymBuu bag comes with 3 packing cubes, 1 for clothes, 1 for shoes, and 1 for toiletries. So you just pack that back in this second section back here, and you're good to go for the weekend. We also have this nicely padded pocket for your laptop, and it's got a USB cord, so you can just charge from the outside without opening your bag and store your cube inside of here or whatever you're using to charge. Then we have these extra pockets here, but the best thing really is it expands. So you can, this is how it is now, but it expands this wide. So that's why I'm saying you can use it for a weekender. And I use it, I travel a lot internationally, and I have this secret pocket back here. It's for your wallet and for your passport. And it's on your back, so nobody ever knows. And it's covered by this strap, so you don't even know it's there. Lastly, GymBuus come with, you probably saw on our website, we have a digital thermos. So the digital thermos fits in its own little pocket right here, or a water bottle if you're not using the thermos. And then when you're not using it, you just stick it back in and zip it closed. And it's one sleek little bag. So yeah, it's got 9, actually it's got 10 pockets if you count this one, but I just never use this little pocket on the handle. But you could. And so yeah, and there's the lot. So that's GymBuu.
I love it.
GymBuu, your fitness bestie.
Cute. As we almost wrap this up, can you tell me a little bit, because I know it's a connection here in terms of this whole myeloma conversation. So can you tell me a little bit about your mom?
Yes. So my mother, Margie Dean, was the best. She was so sweet. There was a line outside and up the street at her funeral because she had 8 children of her own, but when we graduated, she sent all of us to college, even though she never went to high school. I mean, never finished high school. And when we left, she adopted apparently everybody in St. Louis, because everybody at the funeral was like, we lived with her too. She never said that. I didn't know that. So anyway, my mother had rheumatoid arthritis, and her job was a seamstress. She was at Spitfir Fuller, and then she ended up going to, was it Saks Fifth Avenue? And so she worked for them with trying to use sewing, pressing, all of those expensive clothes, and she was sincerely handicapped. My father was 11 years older than her and had massive heart attacks. So he was on Social Security at home. So mom kept working, even though she was very handicapped. And so one day I was with her at the doctor, and the doctor told her, I can improve your quality of life, but it may give you cancer. I can give you a gold shot, and it'll increase your mobility, and it'll increase your quality of life, but it may limit your life. And she was in.
Let's go back. What was that?
It was a gold shot. It was called gold like this. And she chose to get the shot to have better quality of life. She couldn't even reach her hair to comb it because her shoulders wouldn't go up that high. And she'd be so happy when I came home, because I lived all over the place. I was in the pharmaceutical industry. They moved me 7 times in 7 years. So I could do her makeup and her hair. So we just had to leave her hair in braids. She didn't wear makeup. And so she just wanted her life back. And she chose it because, every time a doctor tells you, you're going to get eye surgery, you could die. People were like, I'm going to go for the eye surgery, because nobody expects to die, right? And you go to get your knee replaced. They're like, we're going to replace your knee, but you could die. People get their knees replaced because they don't expect to die. So he told her that you're going to get this gold shot and you could get cancer. She took it because she didn't expect to get it. But ultimately, about 12 years later, she was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. And we both knew immediately where it came from. Sometimes you don't know how, but we knew how.
Right.
And so it was very scary, very sad. And then like a month later, she went into remission. Like God's favorite girl. She just went into remission, and she stayed that way for like 5 years. And we were like, yes. And then it came back in November, 5 years later, and she died in February. And I was pregnant with my daughter, and I just couldn't wait for her to meet her, because she's such a good mom. She's going to be such a good grandma. I couldn't wait, but it didn't happen. So my daughter's named after her, but she was really spectacular. But I saw what multiple myeloma does up close. And I also saw that you can get, when it goes in remission, it can go in remission really well and for a long amount of time. So believe me, we made the most of every one of those years. We went everywhere, we did everything, and we enjoyed each other to the fullest. Because even if you're perfectly healthy, you don't know when's the next day. You could go out in Atlanta traffic, you could trip and fall down the stairs. You don't know. So it doesn't matter. You have to live the best life you can while you have it, and make the best choices you can while you can make choices. And so that's the lesson.
I totally agree. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, when we had our pre-email conversation and you were like, oh, your mom had multiple myeloma, I was like, what are the odds? You know what I'm saying? Because this whole multiple myeloma thing for most people, because I was diagnosed like over a decade ago. Okay. So now I think you hear more people talking about it, but it was kind of still rare. Like, what is that? And the percentage of people, well, back then who would be diagnosed with it, it was high. I know it was most definitely higher for people of color, Black to be specific. So it's crazy. Like, and with the luckily with the development of new medications, it does give many patients like a longer lifespan, if you will. But it's still tricky because, like I tell everybody, you just don't know with any kind of condition. Some people have a good go and some people don't. So it's just a mixed bag.
Right. And I lost my mom 22 years ago, so there was nothing really that we knew of back then.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You to share how people can find you and your website and all of your details.
Okay, so my company is GymBuu.com. That's GYMBUU. GymBuu is my fitness bestie. And you can find me at gymbuu.com. And then my Instagram is MyGymBuu, MyGymbuu. And we'd love to talk with you, chat with you, and help you find some solutions so that you can get in the gym or go outside or stay at home, but live the best life you can while you got it.
There you go. Thank you so much for your time this evening, Pamela. This was a beautiful conversation, and we will definitely be in contact. So thank you for your time this evening, and we will definitely be in touch.
Okay, thank you. Very nice meeting you.